class, and this is Angela Wade. You may know us from some of our past documentaries, a few of which, have been nominated for Academy Awards. And whenever we choose topics to cover, we want to cover things that are controversial, thought-provoking, and also necessary. And when we read the nonfiction book, Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, which also won national acclaim, by the way. This book opened up a lot of questions for us that we wanted to take the time to answer.
Yeah, when we heard about Hailsham, we knew that it was something we wanted to cover. As actual humans, we're very removed from the world of organ donation and cloning, and that's just something we wanted to address. Ishiguro did a great job of illuminating the plight of cloned children, and we just wanted to delve deeper into that. Ishiguro was able to use flashbacks and dramatic irony to sort of pull the audience into the story, and Kayleigh and I felt that pull. Now we feel like it's our job to shed even more light on this scenario.
It seems just like normal to us not to have people with like clones to provide organ donations so we can live longer, and that's just something that we take for granted. But the problem that humankind has always had with clones is, are they more human-like or are they more animal-like?
We've all seen the news and scandals of where cloned children are raised in abominable housing conditions and not enough food. But with Hailsham, they're raising these cloned children in a humane way, and we want to see how some of the children of Hailsham have turned out.
So we're off to Hailsham to talk with two students who are about to age out, Kathy H. and Tommy, and now we're heading out to go hear about their experiences and their clone lives. So let's go.
It's probably them. Are you guys Kathy, H, and Tommy?
Yeah.
Hi. So for our first question at Hailsham, were you taught about your futures? And was there a lot of information given, or were you sort of left in the dark?
Well, we're mainly kept in the dark. I mean, the guardians there, our teachers, they tell us that we need to stay healthy and that we'll donate our organs someday, but that's about all they tell us.
Yeah, they're very hush-hush about it all. Kathy, do you remember Miss Lucy?
Yeah, and we all wondered how she was gone.
Okay, so there was this guardian named Miss Lucy, and she was different than the rest of our guardians. She would warn us about our futures and say things like, your futures are set, whenever we would fantasize about being movie stars and working in offices. And when we were younger, we never really understood the full extent of what she was saying.
And then one day Miss Lucy just wasn't there anymore. We don't know what happened for sure, but we think that our head guardian, Miss Emily, knows, and she's just hiding stuff from us.
So for the people out there that may not understand exactly what organ donation is and how it works, let me just explain it a little. Actual humans donate their tissue, which is then used to create cloned children. These children are raised, and then when they reach their 20s and 30s, they undergo multiple rounds of surgeries to remove their vital organs. These organs are then given to humans who need them, and unfortunately leads to the death of their clones. That is called completion. So, having been prepared for this fate, how do you feel about your eventual death?
Well, when you've been told about your future your entire life, it's sort of something you get used to. Tommy and I understand what we eventually have to do, and I think that we've just accepted that.
I know that a common fear for most humans is the fear of death. Do you fear death, Kathy?
I don't think so. It's just what happens to us, and isn't that what life is anyway, just dying?
Donation is basically what we've been preparing for our whole lives, whether we knew it when we were young or not. So it just happens, and you don't really have a choice but to come to terms with it. When you're constantly surrounded by people who will have the same fate as you, it's sort of the norm.
And have either of you thought or tried to defy that norm?
No, I don't think I would do anything.
We know how the outside world feels about us. They look at us as if we're spiders, as if we're something they're scared and disgusted by. We wouldn't have a place among normal humans.
I'm not gonna lie, if I didn't know that both of you were students at Hailsham, I wouldn't have guessed that you guys were clones. In fact, I don't think anyone in the outside world could have guessed it.
But still, we would know that we were different. And what if we ran into our possibles? Then everyone would know that we were different too.
What's a possible?
A possible is the person from whom we were cloned. At least we think so.
We've heard stories about cloned kids like us finding their possibles, their lookalikes, but we don't know if those stories are true.
Would you guys want to find your possibles?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Because it's not like it would do anything. It wouldn't change our fates. And I think people would just think of us as even more repulsive than before. I mean, how would you feel if there was a replica of yourself roaming the streets? That would probably scare you.
Let's talk about art. I understand that you guys practice a lot of art at Hailsham.
Yeah, we have art classes every day, and we can pretty much create anything we want. If our art is really good, then it'll get chosen to go to Madame's art gallery. Madame is just the lady we call who takes our best pieces of art to the outside world.
And have you had any pieces of art chosen?
One time I had a piece chosen when I was younger.
And how about you, Tommy? Have you had any pieces of art chosen?
No, but I think that's okay. And that's what Miss Lucy said too. She said that it was okay if I wasn't that great at art. But she also said it was important that I work on it too. I'm not sure. She was a little bit confusing.
Okay, so we had one more question we want to ask you guys using a few cards. So I'm going to hold up a card, and then you tell me what you see.
An animal? Who is that? Is he a clone?
Hailstone.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, that whole thing was just really weird.
Yeah, I thought the weirdest part was that they didn't fear death. I mean, that's something every human innately fears. I was trying to figure out if they were lying about that or were just trying to brush off the question. But it seemed like they genuinely didn't know what we meant by the fear of death.
Maybe it was just of how they were raised. I mean, either way, just because they don't fear death and aren't assimilated into society doesn't mean that they deserve to be second-class citizens.
It's because humans in general are just so greedy that they'll do anything to avert death.
Yeah, I understand. That's just the way the world is now, though. But hopefully we can get to the point where either we don't need clones anymore, or these clones can be accepted as more than just bodies to harvest organs from.
Thank you for taking the time to peek into the world of cloned children with Kayleigh and I, and we'll keep you updated with news about Kathy and Tommy and the future of cloning in our society.